I'm Taylor, and I've always been a faithful and loving wife to Jacob, my high school sweetheart. After 7 years of marriage, our life is picture perfect. Jacob develops software late at night while I assist at a dental clinic. Since he was a puppy, Milo, our joyful golden retriever has brought warmth, laughter, and friendship to our family. Our days are predictable but reassuring. Jacob goes early, I follow, and Milo waits at home. We watch movies or walk Milo in our calm suburban neighborhood in the evenings. However, our relationship has changed in a subtle way that I can't pinpoint. Not simply the increasingly late evenings at work or Jacob's wandering eyes when we're out. The simple things like wearing fragrance more regularly or being more picky about his appearance, though modest. These changes have begun to chew at my security. Like a subtle murmur in my head, I'm excited and nervous about assisting at a local stadium charity event. A big party with music games and new friends is planned. As I pack my bag, I can't ignore the sensation that tonight could alter everything. The charity event supports special needs children, something I care about. I've always loved these events, the community, and giving back. But tonight, when I zip my bag, my hands tremble. I tell myself it's anxiety and crowd expectation, but I know it's more. I check the time. Jacob should return soon. He promised to join me, but his work is unpredictable. I've seen his late night texts and covert phone calls. I've tried to ignore them and trust in our love, but trust is fragile. Broken, it's never the same. Milo, sensing my uneasiness, nudges his head under my hand. Possibly offering comfort, I comfort myself with his loyalty by petting his fur. If only human hearts were as simple as dog love. The doorbell interrupts my thoughts. Not Jacob, he has a key. Sarah, my best friend, greets me with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. She's helping me get ready, but she senses something's wrong. You look like you saw a ghost, she replies, worried. I smile and say, it's nothing, just event nerves. Sarah applies my makeup gently yet firmly as if to repair me. We talk about the event and the kids we'll meet, but I keep thinking about Jacob, the changes, and our unsaid questions. As we finish, I check my phone. Jacob left no message. My heart falls more. My distraction is noticed by Sarah. She promises he'll be here, but her tone is hesitant. I nod, doubting my voice. The charity event is more than a night of giving. It might change my life. What could go wrong at a charity event? The question whispers in my head, threatening my seemingly ideal life. Car engine sound fills the silence on the stadium drive. Sarah attempts to keep the talk light, but I'm worried about the future. The stadium lights form lengthy shadows as we park, and I feel like I'm entering a foreign universe where I may finally face the facts I've avoided. The celebration is in full flow when we arrive. There's laughter music and cotton candy fragrance. Volunteers organize games, guide families, and keep things running smoothly. I greet everyone and assist setup, but my eyes keep wandering to the entrance, waiting for Jacob. Hours pass with no sign of him. My phone is quiet. Unease turns dark like betrayal. My mind wanders while I volunteer at the face painting station, drawing butterflies and superheroes on eager faces. Jacob walks toward me, his smile beaming, but his eyes telling a different story. He's here, but not with me. Not really. Realization chills me to the bone. Hey, you made it. I say, my voice steady despite the chaos inside. Sorry for being late. His statements were scripted, and too smooth work was crazy in this place of love and kindness. The truth feels too fragile to confront. So I nod and accept the lie. While walking through the crowd, his hand in mine seems like a stranger's, and I know something has changed tonight. The charity gathering designed to celebrate has unraveled our ideal lives. What will be left after the lights go out as the night goes on? The stadium is energetic on event day. Jacob works late, so I take Milo to keep him company. A successful gathering. Children giggle, people mingle, and the mood is exciting. After volunteering, I take Milo for a walk around the stadium's calmer areas, relishing the peace after the chaos. I meet a charming volunteer named Alex. As we stroll, we speak, share stories, and laugh at some of the strange games. Alex's easygoingness makes me forget my life at home. The crowd thins as the night grows darker, creating a peaceful void. Milo, always eager for adventure, guides me to a quiet section of the stadium with dim lights and a distant murmur of the action. I contemplate my life, marriage, and small changes on the chilly metal benches. The cool night air tickles my skin, and I tighten my jacket. Milo snuggles close, his warmth easing my inner chill. I think of Jacob and our growing emotional and physical distance. He's become a stranger in our family, with his late nights and mysterious phone calls. I recall the early days, joy and dreams. We should age together, not separately. However, I am alone in this peaceful spot, carrying our unspoken worries. Milo twitches his ears as he peers in the shadows. I follow his eyes and see a man approaching. Alex's shadow emerges from the darkness. I couldn't resist silence. He sits near me with a nice smile. I nod, relieved and guilty for enjoying his company. This tranquil spot is wonderful for thinking. Alex nods, looking in agreement. Sometimes silence reveals what's inside. We pause in a comfortable understanding. Silence. Alex speaks again softly. I see your distress. I'm available for conversation. Pause words stuck in my throat. I want to unburden myself because of the night and Alex's openness. Jacob, my spouse. Startled, I whisper, the situation changed. Secretive remote. He seems to be leaving. Alex calms my nerves by listening. He says it's hard when the person you love feels like a stranger, his eyes showing first-hand experience. We discuss life relationships, love, and trust. Alex recounts his own relationship, which ended slowly and with a whimper. His comments inspire me to imagine Jacob and me. Night falls and stadium lights cast long shadows over us while we converse. Milo, sensing the mood change, rests his head on my lap and watches Alex curiously, almost protectively. Alex continues, I've been there. Although uncomfortable, embracing the truth is sometimes the only way ahead. I realize how much I've avoided this encounter as his comments resonate in the solitude. The celebration, laughing, and community spirit, all a veneer to leave my marriage. The silence returns, but with renewed resolve, I stare at Alex. Grateful for his unexpected company, I say, thank you, meaning it more than he knows. He smiles with genuine affection. Anytime, Taylor, sometimes. We only need listening ears. I feel relieved to share my load yet. Sorry for what may be lost as we stand. Alex walks with me back to the stadium's main area where the event's leftovers remain. I call Milo to me as we part ways and proceed to the parking lot. Night was a revelation regarding my marriage and me. I've always fixed and maintained stuff. Tonight, I realize that letting go may be the only way to hold on. My thoughts are a stormy sea. On the peaceful drive home, I see Milo loving the wind out the window. His easy joy contrasted with my deep agony. I get home to find the house dark and Jacob gone. The house and my heart are silent as I sit in the living room. I await Jacob and the moment when I can no longer ignore the truth. The night is secretive change, endings and possibly new beginnings secrets. For now, I sit in the darkness with Milo, waiting for daylight clarity and the fortitude to face what comes next. Alex catches me again while I'm thinking. As we talk, I feel a peculiar draw toward him. Air has an unexpected tension. Milo explores when I'm distracted. Something snaps inside me in this loneliness with Alex. The loneliness and distance between Jacob and me come to the surface. Alex gently holds my hand. In that vulnerable moment, we share a kiss, brief, filled with confusion and misplaced comfort. In an unexpected change of events, Milo returns with a wild energy. In the faint light, my emotions are a whirlwind, and in an unexplainable moment of craziness, I do something surprising and out of character that would change everything. I pull away from Alex, my pulse racing and remorse rushing in, but damage is done. That fleeting moment stayed with me, weighing on my conscience ever since. Alex searches my eyes for an answer, but I have none. Milo bounds up to us with a stick in his mouth and a wagging tail. As usual, ignoring my storm, he drops the stick at my feet. I take it up and throw it for him, watching him joyfully chase it, his innocence contrasting with my stress. I'm sorry, I murmur. As I stammer, it shouldn't have happened. Alex nods, his face unreadable in the faint light. I understand, he replies, sounding disappointed. We stand there, silent after what happened. The choices I made that night linger, reminding me of everything I risked. At the celebration, the stadium was full of laughing and excitement, but now it feels empty. Like me, I should focus on myself rather than Alex. To escape this location that has destroyed me, I must depart. Taylor. Wait. Alex calls as I go. I turn slightly but can't face him. I'm here if you need to talk, he says, his voice calm and understanding. My voice is untrustworthy, so I nod and walk with Milo, who has forgotten his stick. Cold night air bites at my skin. mirroring my heart's frost. The familiar sound of my car door comforts me as I enter the parking lot. Milo jumps in, sits in the passenger seat, head on the console, staring up at me with trust. The motor hums a muted roar as I drive away from the stadium, Alex in the moment that may ruin everything. Memories of the kiss. Guilt and bewilderment fill my head on the way home. I pull into our driveway at night. Jacob still asleep. I gather my courage in the car before continuing. Silence meets me like an old, unpleasant friend when I enter the house. My keys fall on the table, loud in the calm. Milo follows me, his nails clicking on the hardwood floor, which usually calms me, but tonight feels accusatory. My hands shake when I pour water. My guilt burns despite the cool liquid. I sit at the kitchen table, the chair frigid against my back, waiting for Jacob clarity in a dawn that might offer enlightenment. Each tick of the clock reminds me of when I strayed. I want to call Sarah and confess everything, but the words catch in my throat. How do I explain this lapse, this weakness? Jacob enters through the front entrance, exhausted and averting my eyes. Hey, he says exhausted. Sorry for being late. Work was crazy. Finish for him? My voice flat, I know. He truly looks at me, and maybe he sees a shadow of what happened in my eyes. Is everything okay? He asks, worried. I want to confess and unburden myself, but I nod, exhausted. Lying tastes unpleasant, Jacob nods, either accepting my explanation or too exhausted to ask. He goes upstairs, leaving me in the kitchen with my thoughts and the house's silent judgment. After some time, I follow him carrying my secret. In our bedroom, I watch him undress mechanically without the tenderness we always shared. I lie alongside him in bed, thinking of unspoken words and my treachery. His slow, steady breathing contrasts with my stormy thoughts as I lie there. I close my eyes to sleep, but remember Alex, the kiss, and the moment I chose to move into the darkness of my existence. As the night grows, so does my resolve. I promise to address Jacob tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll face our marriage and my acts. However, in the darkness, Milo's quiet snoring is the sole sound, a remembrance of simpler times before tonight's disclosures. I am alone with my guilt. With dawn, decisions must be made. However, in the silence of our bedroom, I am lost in the echoes of what was, is, and may never be again. Shock and bewilderment follow the event. My mind and heart race with shame and confusion. As I rush home, Jacob is at work, ignorant of my marital troubles. I try to shower and wash away the night, but the recollection haunts me. Milo is loyal and looks unconcerned about what happened, yet his presence is a daily reminder every time I see him. I picture the stadium darkness and treachery. His innocent eyes, once comforting, now show my guilt. The next morning, the house is full of morning routine sounds, but I'm a mess of emotions. Jacob finds an issue. He inquires about the event's success with genuine care. I say it was tired, but life feels like a gap opening between us, widening with each second. I'm still thinking about Alex's lips on mine and my brief escape into another's arms. A moment of weakness that now feels like a betrayal of everything we've built. I watch Jacob, his movements so familiar but now so remote, and wonder if he can feel the tension in the air. Heavy quiet surrounds us at breakfast. I try small talk, but my words and laughter are hollow. Jacob, maybe, sensing my anxiety, talks about a work project to lighten the situation, but his words scarcely register. I'm obsessed with my secret, which could ruin us. The day feels weird. My hands move mechanically at the clinic while my mind replays the night. Every gentle smile and contact reminds me of my deception. I feel overwhelmed by my secret by evening. Unknowingly, Jacob proposes we watch a movie to relax. I agree, but sitting on the couch with his arm around me makes me feel like an imposter. When he senses my grief, Milo puts his head on my lap and looks up at me with unconditional love. I know how much I've risked my marriage and the confidence of people who love me unconditionally. Movie plays, but I'm not watching losing my mind over what to do next. Should I confess? Do I hide this secret in hopes it will fade? Each choice feels like a betrayal. Jacob looks worriedly at me as he pauses the video. Taylor, are you okay? You were absent all day. I take a deep breath and try to say something, but fear stops me, just thinking about how much labor the event was. I tell the lie easier this time, but it's bitter after. Accepting my explanation, he nods but looks at me longer as if searching for more. We restart the movie, but our distance grows with each second. When we get ready for bed, I watch Jacob change with his back to me. The connection we had seems remote. I fall asleep with unspoken words and the ghost of my betrayal. His slow, steady breathing contrasts with my stormy thoughts as I lie there. I close my eyes to sleep, but remember Alex, the kiss, and the moment I chose to move into the darkness of my existence. As the night grows, so does my resolve. I promise to address Jacob tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll face our marriage and my acts. I'm alone with my guilt in our bedroom, with Milo's peaceful sleeping, as the soul sound a memory of simpler times before tonight's disclosures. With dawn, decisions must be made. However, in the darkness, I am lost in the echoes of what was is and may never be again. I feel suffocated by my secret and Alex's kiss. I gaze at Jacob sleeping peacefully and wonder if I can tell him if I can stand to see his anguish and betrayal. The concept alone makes my heart hurt, matching my mental anguish. I must decide shortly. Once spoken, the truth can't be changed. It will alter everything, possibly irreparably. Yet keeping this secret and living with this deception seems like betraying my spirit. As I lie there, the night stretched out before me. I realized that the stadium, the event, was more than just a charity event. It was a life turning point, a chance to change my mind and keep my promises. But I didn't. As morning breaks through the curtains, I must face what I've done and become. Will my secret be kept, or will it wreck my marriage? My choices from now on determine the response. My determination strengthens with early light. I must face the truth. Jacob and myself, the future is unclear and painful. For my marriage, my ethics, and my love for Jacob, despite everything, I must follow this path. My secret weighs more every day. Not just the kiss with Alex, but also the unbearable loneliness I've kept hidden. I finally confess to Jacob. My voice shakes as I set Jacob down, trying to compose the words. I did something bad at the occasion. I start crying. Jacob's worried face turns confused. The kiss with Alex and loneliness are told to him. The Milo part makes me pause. Jacob demands the truth, sensing gravity. Breathing deeply, I reveal all. The room goes silent, filled with bewilderment and betrayal. Jacob leaves in pain, seeking time to comprehend this unfathomable truth. Silence fills our living room as I sit alone. Milo snuggles beside me with his head on my lap, sensing the anxiety. I rub his fur to find comfort in his loyalty, yet my deeds stain it. Hours pass slowly, minutes forever. I remember Jacob's face, his confession, and his silence. I wonder if he'll return and if our marriage will survive. The notion of losing him and everything we've accomplished is excruciating. I hear the front door open as the sun sets, leaving lengthy shadows. Jacob returns, still in pain, but more determined. His eyes explore mine as he sits opposite. Why, Taylor? A weak whisper, his voice. I was lost. Jacob, I fell alone and erred. I say, a terrible, unforgivable mistake, my voice breaking with guilt. He stares at Milo, then me with Milo. How could you? Disbelief lingers over his question. No idea. I sob, a time of lunacy and lack of judgment. Never have I felt so alone I wanted to feel anything. Jacob paces the room. Taylor, this goes beyond loneliness. This concerns trust in our commitments. Now, how can I trust you? How can I trust myself to miss this? His remarks were powerful reminders of betrayal. I'm sorry, Jacob. Wish I could return it. Wish I could erase that night. He looks at me with deep sadness after stopping pacing Taylor. I need time to ponder, feel, and determine if we can move forward. I nod, acknowledging his space needs Jacob. I'll do anything. We'll seek counseling. I'll do whatever to fix this. Nodding, his expression softens. We'll see. I need solitude tonight. Another departure leaves the house emptier than before. I spend the night restless, thinking about what might happen. Next morning, Jacob is in the kitchen with red eyes from lack of sleep. He begins, his voice calm but fatigued. I've been thinking. Taylor, I love you, but I can't move on. We need aid, professional aid. I feel relief and a sobering understanding of the hard path ahead. Yes, absolutely. Help each other find someone. We agree to get counseling to mend damaged trust. The following days are packed with meetings, talks, and silence. Each therapy session peels back layers of our connection to reveal honest, unpleasant truths. Jacob swings between fury, despair, and a frantic yearning to comprehend. However, I am obsessed by guilt, wanting to make amends and prove I can be the person he married again. Jacob seats me one night after a particularly tough practice. Taylor, I've decided I'm leaving temporarily. I need time to ponder and breathe without continuous reminders of what transpired. My heart drops, but I nod. Yes, I understand. Let me respect your space. He packs a suitcase and looks at me at the door, Taylor. I won't give up on us, but I need to find myself first. The door closes behind him, and the home is quiet. Knowing my concern, Milo sticks close, a small comfort in the huge expanse. The following days are spent in a fog attending therapy alone to understand my behaviors, feelings, and life goals. Weeks become months, and Jacob and I's physical gap reflects our emotional divide. Each therapy session is a step toward understanding and healing, but it's painful and uncertain when, walking Milo in the park, I saw Jacob. He's on a bench watching life. He glances up with a sorrowful expression as I approach. How are you asking from alongside him? I keep my distance, he says. I'm trying. Although difficult, Taylor, I'm trying to forgive and understand. We discuss life and the world, not ourselves. This chat feels like a small bridge over our growing distance. As we part, there's a flicker of optimism that we can find one other again. The trip continues. Each day, I fight my demon's guilt and desire for what we once had. I hope we can mend with time, effort, and love. A confession. Can our marriage survive? I don't know what the future holds. But I focus on the next day and the gradual, painful process of regaining trust in Jacob and myself. The days after are filled with treatment talks and introspection. Jacob and I are navigating this storm. Despite his pain, he wants to comprehend and see what we had. We seek professional therapy for our marriage and for me to understand my out of character behavior. The voyage is tough with tears, anger, and silence. There are also times of hope when we remember why we fell in love and talk about forgiveness for me and us to move forward. Therapy is our sanctuary where we may face our emotions uncensored. Dr. Ellis, our therapist, leads trust-building activities. The air conditioner's quiet hum is the sole sound as we discuss our connection in her office. Tell me why, Taylor. Jacob remarks one session, his voice firm, but his eyes showing sorrow. What made you feel so alone that you did what you did? I breathed deeply, my confession still heavy on my chest. I felt you leaving Jacob. You existed, but not really. Late nights distance. In that time, I was afraid and needed anything to feel connected again. I went the worst route as she nods. Dr. Ellis shows empathy. Jacob must realize that Taylor's cruel behaviors arise from emotional pain. Understanding the root doesn't excuse what happened, but it helps heal. Jacob's gaze pierces me. Taylor, I forgive you, but every time I see Milo, I see your action. How do I move on? The room quiets as his words resound. He draws back when I gently touch his hand. Jacob, I'm here. I'll help you through this. I'll act however necessary. We resume trust-building exercises. One is communicating future anxieties and hopes. Jacob worries about losing our family and trust. I hope we can establish a new normal where we communicate better and are true companions, not simply partners. Milo, our constant friend, represents our past and future. We reinvent our connection, realizing that love, trust, and forgiveness are earned and rebuilt. Dr. Ellis proposes spending time with Milo to rediscover his delight. In one session, we take Milo to the park where Jacob and I had our first date. The sun is sinking, turning everything gold. Milo pursues a frisbee with his tail wagging madly, and we laugh a strange but reassuring sound. He's still our boy, right? Jacob watches Milo with anguish and affection. He is, I whisper, and loves us unconditionally. Maybe we can learn from him. Jacob nods and we watch Milo play from the bench. Though little, it feels like progress. Instead of discussing the serious problems that still divide us, we talk about the weather and the new cafe nearby. Our Dr. Ellis sessions continue as weeks become months. We discuss love languages, communication, and boundaries. Jacob talks about his emotions of neglect and how he thought I was leaving before the event. I felt like I was losing you too, Taylor, he says one night, his voice low. How to reach out and bridge the gap was beyond me. The realization is harsh. I recognize how much we both contributed to our growing gap. I'm sorry, Jacob. I should have talked to you and attempted to comprehend our situation. Our therapy emphasizes forgiveness. Dr. Ellis says forgiveness is about releasing the act's hold on us, not forgetting or approving it. She believes you should go forward because you desire a future together. Not because the past doesn't hurt Jacob and I make tiny changes. Every night we chat about our day, feelings, and anxieties. Initial awkwardness turns into a ritual, a holy area where we can be vulnerable. As we relax in our living room one night, the silence eases. Jacob stares at me, his eyes softer than in weeks, Taylor. I want to try not give up. I hope we can rebuild. Unable to talk, I nod with tears. We approach closer tentatively, touching yet hopeful for healing Milo. Feeling the change, leaps onto the couch, head on both our laps, eyes gazing up with unconditional affection. Jacob, me, and our family attempting to heal, share a moment. The trip continues. Everyone faces challenges, doubts, and tiny victories every day. Trust, communication, and forgiveness are being restored. Will Taylor and Jacob recover, or will their story end? Time will tell, but we're taking each step toward a future we share. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you liked this article. This will help us write more interesting content.